What is going on, guys? I'm Nick, and today we have another case for the iPhone 15 Pro, and it is one that is highly requested. It is going to be the Gen 5 case from Phone Rebel, and let's go ahead and get right into it. So starting with the packaging, immediately you get a very nice graphic on this kind of glossy plastic feeling box. Super nice to see right there. That's exactly what your case is going to look like. As we work our way around the sides, you can see some Rebel branding, and down towards the bottom it does say it's for the iPhone 15 Pro. Similar on both sides. And as for the top, you get Phone Rebel right there, and the bottom, just a little brand and a barcode. So super nice. But on the back, you do get a ton of details as to the features and everything that the case has to offer. You guys can, of course, go ahead and pause and read all of this if you would like. I'm going to go over it as we look at the case itself. So let's go ahead and get right into it, starting right here. I have already been testing this case, so of course it is open. But here we go. As soon as you open it up and slide this bottom piece out, you are immediately greeted with the case and that extremely grippy feeling from that kind of twill they're using on the back. But before we focus on the case too much, I do want to take a look at the fact that they include a screen protector with your case. So you can see that it does come with a very nice tempered glass screen protector. One that I have used in the past. I didn't use it this time just so I could go ahead and show you that it does come with the case, but that is really all you're going to be looking at. And don't worry, they do also kit you with a installation kit, and of course you can see right here, glass that lasts. So super nice to see all of that. It does give you the contents, so this is what you're going to be using to install your screen protector. But we can go ahead and set all of this to the side. That is all for the packaging. And now we can focus on the case itself. It does have a little bit of oil on it. Something that I have noticed is that this back does tend to collect a little bit of oil, but it wipes off just fine, even just with like a t-shirt or something. So I do want to take a look at the inside now. As you can see, a lot of Phone Rebel branding in there, and this is all a very soft microfiber feeling, so it's going to protect your phone from scratches and things like that. If we look down into the corners, you can see you have that blue material, which is going to help absorb any kind of impact, shock, or anything like that from going directly into your phone. And before we leave the interior, I do want to take a notice at this. You can see that there are 4 little screws built into pretty much your camera protector, and that is for good reason. So this is a metal lip now, along with your buttons and the little brand down here towards the bottom of the phone. But they didn't do that just for aesthetic purposes. So you can actually now pick up these kits. Phone Rebel was kind enough to send me a couple of them, and let's take a look at what it is. So you just tear this off to open it up. Move that open, and you can see it's going to be a bunch of little accessories that you can use to actually swap the color of your case. It does come with extra little screws in case you lose the ones your case already has, or if you just want to have some extras laying around. But this is really all it is. So as you can see right here, the camera lip would probably be the easiest. Unscrew those 4 little screws. This one's going to pop out, and you can now install your new orange one. Well, that's the one we're looking at here, but it does come with the camera lip, all 4 of your buttons, and the little Rebel branding towards the bottom of the case. These are easy. You just kind of pop them out and then you can replace them. But maybe orange isn't your style. You can also get them in this very nice blue to match that blue iPhone 15 Pro Max, or you can even get them in gold, or I guess you would call this yellow. I like to call it gold, but this is really all it is. Phone Rebel was kind enough to send a bunch of these colors over. So if you see me rocking this case, I'm definitely gonna be mixing and matching a ton of these things. But aside from the accessories, we can move all of this out of the way, just so we can now focus on the case. So as for the inside, we pretty much did already cover everything. Of course, you can see MagSafe built in. We are going to be testing that in a second. And I don't really want to cover the exterior without the phone in here. So let's go ahead and grab that. My iPhone 15 Pro right here in natural titanium. It does have a lens protector on at the moment because I've been getting a ton of comments of people asking me to review these things. I've never used a lens protector in the past, but I do have some very nice things to say about this one. That's a video for a later time though, so we're just going to skip over that and we'll snap our phone right here. Extremely snug, so I do want to start with the fit test. As you can see, zero pull, a little bit of pull right there, mainly by the volume buttons, which is to be expected. But as we work our way up to the top, zero pull there, and at the bottom where the port is, zero pull as well. Definitely a nice achievement for Phone Rebel, and this is pretty much what your phone is going to be looking like when it's in this case. So let's take a look at a little bit of protection, starting with our camera lip. So again, I do have a tempered glass, or a camera lens protector on here at the moment, but we're still look at that, we still have a lip. So even if you are someone that runs lens protectors, this case is going to be perfect. It goes up high enough that it's obviously going to cover your cameras if you don't have a protector on there, and even if you do, you still get that little extra protection. And then with this being a metal lip, you are pretty much covered all the way around. Super nice to see that. Now if we look over at the front, my screen is actually extremely dusty, so let me grab a little microfiber. We can go ahead and wipe that off real quick. So just to keep this thing looking clean. There we go. Now we can take a look at the front lip. You are going to notice your lip is actually extremely minimal in the middle. If you look at that, you do get a tiny bit of a lip. I do have a tempered glass screen protector on this phone, so if you don't have one, you might see a little extra lip, but that is actually on purpose. So that is so when you're swiping, you have all your side gestures, it feels nice and smooth and you don't have anything in your way. But if you look at the corners, this is where it gets really beefed up. So you can see, especially down here, look at how high that lip comes off of. If you had a lip that high going around the entire perimeter of the phone, it would definitely be pretty annoying to be dealing with that. So they decided to just add it in the corners, and that is at the top and the bottom, and it is going to protect your screen. So super nice to see that. Absolutely love to see that. Before we move on to the sides, I do want to try the wobble test just because of how protective that camera lip looked. I want to see how much shake we're gonna get, if any at all. So down here at the bottom, where you're normally gonna be typing, you can see there's really no shake or wobble at all to be noticed. So no issues are gonna come when you're typing. But of course, if you work your way up, yeah, just as I expected, that top left corner, you're gonna get a little bit of wobble, but it's really not anywhere near as bad as I've seen some other phones get, or some other cases get. So definitely nice to see that. But let's go ahead and move on to the sides and take a closer look at this. So something that I really loved about this case is Phone Rebel decided to add some crazy grips to the sides of their case. You do get a nice little peek at that power button right there, a very nice metal button. But look at the grip strips on here. Super nice to see that. And since we're over here, let's go ahead and test this button already anyway. So a very nice tactile button, but it's quiet. It is extremely responsive and it doesn't feel mushy or anything like that, but I really enjoy the fact that it is a quiet click. I love when my buttons are responsive, but I'm not a huge fan when they're super loud. So definitely what I would say 10 out of 10 floating button. And then the fact that you can customize it is just that little cherry on top. Can't complain about that. Moving over to the bottom, you do get a very nice cutout for your USB-C port right there, and then accurate speaker and microphone cutout. Super nice to see that. And you can really see how beefy these corners are right there compared to the center of the case. Moving over to the volume side, you can see you do still have those very nice grip strips. So it is always going to be grippy on your phone. And then you have your 3 buttons for your action button and your volume up and down. So let's go ahead and test the action button first. Now moving down to our volume buttons. And they are pretty much exactly the same as the power button, which I absolutely love. They are extremely tactile, but still pretty quiet. So you don't have to worry about being super loud or anything like that. Definitely love these buttons. And of course, over at the top, they have kept it the same, just a little bit of Rebel branding, which I've always appreciated. I really like the font they use. I think it looks pretty cool. So nothing to complain about there. And of course, the case does have MagSafe built in, so we are going to test that. Before that, I do want to mention the fact that our biggest partner with the channel, Mint Mobile, is currently running a new deal offering a ton of new features and everything that I do really want to get you guys to look into. I'm going to throw a bunch of stuff up on the screen, let you guys know they are still holding that $15 a month for service. So if you guys are paying a ton for internet or a ton for cell phone service and you want that price to come down, definitely check out Mint Mobile. I've been using them for a solid couple months now and I've had zero issues, and I am going to move over the rest of my devices to Mint Mobile and take advantage of those cheaper prices. So just again, remember to check them out. They're a huge fan of the channel, they're a huge help, and they want to help you guys out as well. But let's go ahead and move on to the MagSafe test here. We're gonna go ahead and grab everything real quick. We're gonna go ahead and start with the Spigen MagSafe grip, which is actually a MagSafe stand and grip in one, and we're just gonna go ahead and snap it right on. So right here, already a very strong adhesion. Honestly, a pretty sweet looking combo in my opinion. And let's go ahead and see if we can get this to come off. So some pretty aggressive shaking here, and we actually can't get it to knock off. This actually never happens with these cases. There we go. Dang, that's probably the hardest I've ever shaken a phone. Okay, there we go. Maybe there's like a technique to it or something, but an extremely strong grip for sure. You're gonna snap it down, test it out just like this. Yeah, this is definitely one of those that the phone is just gonna fall over before it ever snaps off of there. So super nice to see that. Already very impressed with these magnets. But let's go ahead and keep moving forward. We're going to test out a little bit of wireless charging as well as strength, of course, with the Apple MagSafe battery pack. Snap this one on just like that. As you can see, charges just fine, and definitely a nice adhesion. I do want to mention the fact that, look at this, the battery pack is pretty much pressed right up against that camera lip, so it fits perfectly. But if you have a battery pack that's even maybe just a little bit larger, it is probably going to sit up on that lip just like that. It's not really a huge problem. In most battery packs, you're still gonna be able to charge your phone like that. As you can see, I'm holding it and it is still charging, but something to be aware of, since that might weaken that MagSafe attraction just a little bit. But because of the silicone back on this and the material that they're using back here, it is extremely grippy. I was gonna say sticky, but it's not sticky. It's just a ton of grip going on back there. So let's try some false drops. Yeah, you can see that it's definitely not going anywhere. It sounds like it kind of wants to come off, but it's just not going to. This is definitely one of those combos that I would say if you're running it and you drop it, this battery pack's probably gonna stay on. So definitely a perk, but really nice to see that. So now let's move on to a big one for me, and that is going to be the Apple leather MagSafe wallet. So I do still run this pretty often, and I need to be able to trust my cases with my wallet. So snap it on, detects it just fine. Super nice to see that animation. And let's try some false drops here. So same kind of thing, it's definitely not going anywhere, and I feel like this leather just adheres really well to the back material they're using here. And in all honesty, all of the accessories I've been running in my period of testing this case, everything seems to stick very, very well. So if you're somebody who's using a MagSafe wallet, is a great example, something really important you definitely don't want to lose, this case is not going to let you down. And same thing, this actually, you have a little bit of gap, so even if you have a slightly larger wallet, it's probably going to still not sit up on that camera lip. So super nice to see that there. But although I do trust this case very well with my wallet, I do have one more test, and we are going to be using the Nomad Base One, which is this heavy glass and metal puck that has a charger built into it. We're going to snap this down the table and see if this case with magnets alone can lift this over 1 pound base. So we're going to snap it on just like this. You can see that it charges just fine. And now, only touching the phone itself, we're going to see if it can lift the base. So you can see my fingers are right here. We're going to lift it up. And yeah, wasn't even worried. This case has no problems lifting this. I'm going to try one hand just so I can show you guys. We're going to lift it up just like that. And you can see all the way around, my fingers are not touching the base at all. And it has no issues shaking this, even without my hand under there. I mean, if I shake it hard enough, yeah, it'll come off 100%, just like that. You can see it fall. But how many cases, if you guys have been watching the channel for a while, how many cases have you seen that can actually achieve that kind of shake? There's really none. There's maybe a handful, and I'm pretty sure one of them was the Gen 4 either way. But that's really it for this one, guys. super difficult for me to say 10 out of 10 case just because I love to judge these cases super harshly, but I cannot find a flaw with this case. Now, although me personally, I'm not a huge fan of aramid fiber and like your carbon fiber looking cases and all that, this case just really went beyond. And even if you're not a fan of this style like me, they do have the frosted version of this case. So just a little sneak peek as to what maybe my next video is going to be. And this case, if you guys remember, the Gen 4 was my case of the summer for the iPhone 14 Pro. I am going to have a video of this. I have already completed my testing period on this case as well, but you guys are going to have to stay tuned if you want to see that. That is it for this one, guys. I really hope you enjoyed it. Let me know if you guys really enjoyed the carbon fiber, aramid fiber cases, and I'll do more of them, but you guys have to let me know. Remember to check out Mint Mobile. Remember to stick around the channel, and remember, use that comment section to tell me whatever you want to see on the channel. It doesn't have to be cases. It doesn't have to be accessories. Let's hear all of your ideas. I'm making the channel because I like making videos that you guys like to watch. Just remember that. That is it. I'm going to get out of here, and I will see you guys in the next one.